Hello, this is Edwin Dearborn, another edition of Growth Driven. And today, what I want to talk about, what is sales prospecting? I just want to give a simple, articulate definition, and this may help to clarify what it is for you. Hey, this is Edwin Dearborn, another edition of Growth Driven. I'm a big believer that you need to be able to define your terms. Voltaire would agree with this. Socrates would agree with this. Um, Socrates, I believe, and I'm paraphrasing, that all knowledge begins with a definition of terms. And, when you say certain words to people in business, they have different ideas of what that means. Case in point, the word marketing. I mean, if you put 100 people in a room and you ask them to write down what marketing is, you will get 100 different definitions. Uh, to some people, marketing means sales. To others, it means advertising. To others, it means branding. Everybody's got a different definition, and this is where a lot of people get confused in businesses. They don't have exact definitions. Well, prospecting to me is one of those words, and it's one of the most important activities in selling. How do you actually get a flow of leads? How do you get people in front of you? So when I say the word prospecting, to some people that may mean cold calling. To others that may be going out at networking meetings. To others that may be posting a lot on social media. But let's really get a fundamental definition. So I assembled this definition, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I included this, and also in my podcast, you're going to see the definition in the content below the video and in the podcast so that you can refer to it. But I'm going to read it to you. I spent about an hour on this looking at different definitions, and I assembled my own definition. So yes, this is my definition. Quote, prospecting is the proactive search for potential clients and referrals. It is purely outbound and can be initiated at will. Prospecting is the process of identifying for yourself who your ideal clients are, then searching for them, and then creating a base of leads. The goal of prospecting is to further communicate with them in person and via technology, and to eventually convert them into paying clients, unquote. So let me break this down a bit. So it's a proactive search. This isn't something that happens whimsically. This is something that you intentionally cause at will. If you don't have enough leads or enough sales, you can proactively start prospecting. It doesn't depend on any outside force. It is 100% within your ability and responsibility to create at any time you want to. Number two, prospecting is the process of identifying for yourself who your ideal clients are. That's where it really begins. Who do you want to sell? Who do you want to go after? Is it just blindly cold calling anybody? Is it just sending out invitations on LinkedIn or Instagram or just to anybody? Or do you have an ideal persona, an ideal audience type that you would go after? So one of the things I talk about with the salespeople I work with is, who exactly would you want to go after? Tell me some of the attributes, some of the demographics, some of the psychographics of the person. Let's write those down. Age, type of business, where they're at. Are they a C-level executive? Are they a small business owner? Are they college educated? Are they in a particular type of state or town? We put all of that together. Then we start searching for them. We can search for them. How are we going to search for them? Do we go to conferences? Do we sit on LinkedIn and use Sales Navigator to help us narrow down that search? Then we create a base. of leads. We put them in a CRM. We put them in some type of database so that now we have it recorded. Now, what is the goal? Well, we want to communicate with them. We want to build rapport. We want to build affinity with them. We want them to build affinity with us, awareness of us, and we do that in person and via technology. What do I mean by in person? You phone call them, you meet them, you stop by their office, you go to conferences, you shake their hands, you speak with them one-on-one, you do Zoom calls, you do webinars via technology. That could be webinars, social media, CRMs, drip campaigns, emails, retargeting. All of that is how we stay and communicate. Now, why are we communicating with them? Well, we want to convert them into paying clients. So there's got to be within your messages calls to action, requests for proposals, actual closed business. This is the purpose of prospecting. Now, let's take a look at someone who doesn't have enough sales. And I say, I need you to start prospecting. If at that moment they've got a blank look on their face, or they have a look of pain upon their face, some type of consternation, some type of confusion, some type of feeling of being lost, that right there is what needs to be rectified with that marketing person or salesperson. Because if they cannot proactively, at will, go out and search for people that they want to do business with, they are always going to suffer in sales. They are going to be riding the ebbs and flows of life. They'll do well in a high demand market, but the moment the market dries up or there's a problem like a recession or a depression or a new regulation within their industry, they die quickly. We've seen that over and over, like in real estate. When the real estate market goes bad, a bunch of realtors leave the marketplace. Why? Because they were surviving when it was really, really good, but now that it's really bad, like in 2008, 2009, they couldn't stick with it. They didn't have the ability to continue to do business. And I guarantee you, if you were to survey them or ask them directly what is prospecting and have them tell you their systems and SOPs and daily routines with prospecting, you'll see that this is where they're weak at. Now, as a virtual or fractional chief marketing officer, when I work with companies, this is the very first thing that we address with the salespeople and the marketing people that we work with. Who do you want to go after? How are you going to go after them? How much time are you going to do it? Which is usually after solving the confusion of what prospecting is and how they're going to do it. The next weakness is how much time do they spend doing it? And my philosophy is this is how much time you should spend on it. Every time you're not in an opportunity of speaking with a client, closing a client, presenting to a client, on your way to go see a client, you should be prospecting. So let's say I get off of this, doing this webinar, doing this YouTube, and my next appointment is at noon. Actually, it's at 9:30. I have an appointment at 9:30 in a half an hour from now. That will take me about a half an hour. And then I have another one at noon, which will take me a half hour to drive. So I've got an hour and a half window where I'm not talking to anybody. So that hour and a half is my hour and a half today that I need to spend on prospecting, sitting on LinkedIn, sending out invitations, following up, getting on my phone. Did you get my proposal? How are we moving? How are you doing? Is there something else you need help with? Like, I need to be proactively communicating with people in some manner so that I have my next opportunity. Now, here's where prospecting scales. And this is the key for any company. You can scale by adding more salespeople, but I find that that can be a limitation because of finance, because of a lot of things, mainly finance. But one of the things that we can scale is we can add virtual assistants that can take some of those prospecting SOPs and do it for us. They can do their outreach on LinkedIn for us. They can send out the emails. They can automate our social media posts. They can get on the phone and call your list and then do call transfers. And that's an inexpensive way to scale. You can also scale with the use of technology. Are you automating your social media? Do you have a CRM? Are you retargeting the people that have visited your website? Are you looking to your CRM and seeing who opened your email, who raised their hand? You can scale by promoting a webinar and inviting a lot of people and asking your database to bring referrals. This should all be part of your strategy. Now, if you are running a small business or a large business or some type of brand and you don't have all of this in place in a written strategy, and you're leveraging technology and virtual assistants, and you know how to prospect, and you know exactly what you need to do to proactively create a sales funnel, those are the things that I help people remedy ASAP. That is what we do. This is why our companies are growing. And I sit on the board of 4 companies, and every one of them is growing. Not one of them is shrinking. They are growing because we are prospecting. We're using technology, CRMs, social media, virtual assistants to reach out and touch more people about our message, about what we're offering. If that's something that you would like to take advantage of, then reach out to me. I'll put a link below. You can find me on LinkedIn, Edwin Dearborn. I may be the only Edwin Dearborn on LinkedIn, but even if there's a couple others, you'll recognize my face. You'll recognize the name. You can direct message me. You'll find my email. And let's spend a little time and see if we are the right fit for each other. And if we're not, I'll tell you that you're not, and you'll probably tell me that I'm not. I'm good with that. But if we are the right fit for each other, then I believe that we can work together, collaborate together, and help you grow your sales. This has been another edition of Growth Driven. You make it a great day. Bye-bye.